Hey guys, Traxxas/95 here. This is a Wild One overview for you, Ultimate RC user, ironmankwaki. He is getting a FAV re-release, so I'm doing an overview of my Wild One because it's the same chassis for him to check out. This is also for anyone else who is getting a re-release FAV or has a Wild One or an FAV is wondering some parts or how to do maintenance on it. Just hit me up and just send me a message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so I'll start off. The FAV is 1/10 scale, very similar to the Wild One. It's a great chassis, tub chassis. There's plenty of room in here. Right now I only have my receiver in here. Tamiya will include an ESC, which I'm assuming they'll mount here, and a receiver. I'm assuming they'll mount that right here or right there. There's plenty of room in here. And then you can put a receiver pack back here. The body, not with me right now. There is a receiver pack, plastic thing, goes right here. Then the lower body piece, which also holds the driver figure, goes right here and down, and then there's a driver figure right here, and then he'll kind of come up around here, and then there will be plastic that'll come straight over to here, and there will be a hole that goes down into this post right here. A second body piece which goes over it comes back from right here, comes back down, stops about right here, actually right here, and then there's some plastic rails that come down to here. They have metal brackets on them. They go into here, the plastic goes right here, and the metal bracket goes here, hold it in place. Those metal brackets do fall out sometimes, so I recommend fixing that up with shoe glue. And then it's kind of tricky to get in and out, so normally you can do any maintenance on it by just taking off the top part, but if you do have to take out the body figure, pull it out like this. Okay, so the suspension is trailing arm suspension with stub axles up front. The stub axles are they don't move at all, they don't turn, and then the wheels have bushings in them. Little plastic bushings like this in them, which you can replace with a standard bearing like I have in the back. See, here's a standard bearing. They're the same size as the bushings. It's the same as Traxxas has on the Slash and all their two-wheel drive models. I don't know, I think they're 5x11, don't trust that, I don't know. But you can replace these little things with bearings, and then the wheel just slides onto there, and a nut goes down on there. It spins real nice. On the back, on the Wild One, these types of tires. It's going to be the same size wheels and tires, just different types of tires on the FAV. These skinny front tires give you a lot of forward grip and cause a lot of oversteer, so watch out for that. These rear tires are very hard on the Wild One. They're more of a sand type tire. They have little protrusions in the wheel right here, and then in the adapter, it's not a hex on the Wild One. It might be a hex on the FAV, and it's got little holes, and you simply line up the holes, put your nut on there, and it holds that. Yeah, as you can see, the front shocks are really long. They are aluminum body and cap, which is great plus for how old this kit is. As you can see right here, they do tend to lose their oil quite easily, so you might want to check that out. You might want to do some preventative maintenance on that. Just make sure all the caps are tightened down and everything. On the rear, I do have Traxxas shocks on here. They are Traxxas Slash fronts with the front springs on them. these give it a more of a plush feel. The rear shocks look like this. They are aluminum body and cap also, just like the fronts. And they're quite stiff, and they leak also, so I have to replace the oil in them, but they work pretty well. They're quite skinny also, as you can see. Okay, so let's go with the transmission. Here's the transmission. Pinion gear is metal. I think they're 32 pitch. And there's a center gear, has a small gear and then a big gear. And the big gear goes to the differential, which is metal. So metal, plastic, metal. The metal differential tends to strip out if you don't put washers in it to compress the two outer gears onto the inner gear, and they end up stripping if you don't do that, which has happened to me. And it makes this clicking sound when you either are going on a rough surface and it goes off the ground, so just make sure of that. There are two motor mounting options. There's a high gear, which is 18 tooth, low gear 15 tooth, trailing arm suspension, as I said, all the way around, which is, it works fantastic. These traction shocks, it's a lot more plush. There are shock travel limiters right there, which the arms have mounts on them, which little tabs on them, which keep them from going too far. The axles on this have little dust booties on them, and they're kind of like a hex. I'm not going to try and get it out. They're a little hex, so they're not dog bones or sliding shafts, so just be careful with that. I don't know what the rear release will have on it. There are normally Nerf bars right here. I took them off in order to fit the 2S LiPo battery. The 2S LiPo, it is bottom load with a fiberglass battery door on it, and yeah, a 6-cell will fit in here. A 6-cell nickel metal or nickel cadmium will fit in here a lot better than a 2S LiPo, just for the fact that the wires don't come out like that. That's probably what Tamiya will include. It's perfect amount of power for this. There is normally a tab of plastic that goes across here. You can run 7-cell nickel metal hydride if you cut that off, and it gives it a nice power boost for this, but it really does not need it. It also makes it hard to run the body figure on there. The chassis has lines on it across here. That's taped over just to keep too much dirt from getting inside, but I'm sure Tamiya will cover that up with stuff. There's a switch place right here, which I don't use that, but you can. And there's mounting holes for the old MSC, things like that. You can see the bottom of where the shock bodies attach and the trailing arm suspension. Let's see here. The bumper stays on there. It's a nice flexible bumper. Keeps it protected. The steering uses ball ends. The cap, one second. They stay on there very good. I don't know if Tamiya will include these little flimsy wire things that attach to the servo horn in there, but they bend really easy, so just be aware of that. And then, but the ball caps and the ball ends are a very good addition to the kit. Keeps it working nice and smooth. Shock towers up front are aluminum or steel, I don't know. So that's just an overview of the whole chassis. It's very low center of gravity, doesn't flip ever. It's very stable. Great buggy overall. You'll love the FAB. Trexter Splash 95, over and out.